The hex head. Yeah. What's going on, guys? Here we are. I think you guys saw prior to this of putting the intake manifold on, but there's not really much to update per se, except I've just been test fitting stuff, as you can tell. So this is on, intake manifold in, you know, gaskets. These are just sitting there. That installed, as well as the thermostat. Got all this lined up. This is the new alternator, and it's different than this one right here. So I've got to do my fun little research and figure out which one goes to what, because this is sort of like kind of has like a plug in the back. So that'll be fun to figure out. But I'm debating on going with plastic oil lines, or running this again, and then doing it kind of like I did on my line lock and all that stuff, where it was kind of like, goes with the theme, you know. But yeah, and then I guess it's my ABS. ABS 2, everyone seems to be, I haven't found any negative things from that. The only thing negative I ever find from about Edelbrock is that only Holly people seem to hate them. They've always treated me good, so we'll see. But yeah, anyway, nothing really to talk about. Button up some things. Let's see here, what else am I going to do? Figuring out the wiring. A lot of these little labels I put on fell off over time. It's a pretty simple wiring system, so I'll just kind of figure that out. I also removed a lot of useless wires, and I'm sure I'll run into a few roadblocks along the way, but hey, whatever. Yeah, nothing really to talk about. That's probably what I'm going to do today. I do have one cool thing to show you, though. Look at that. For Edelbrock. If you guys are, you know, Holly double pumper kind of guys, this is sort of that. At least the ABS comes with a tap over here to run the fuel on both sides. People like Luke Finley and the guys that really know carburetors a lot more than I do are kind of like, I've never seen that. I don't know how good that's going to be, because Edelbrock's never really had an issue with fueling per se, so except that you guys can't see the float, or, you know, so on and so forth, and a lot of the complaints Holly people have, so I don't know. I'm going to install that. My only thing is I don't need this part. And this sucker is $100, so it's like, man, and you guys can see where my fuel line's coming in at, so it's like, I don't really need it. It's just, I'm just going to run a cord right there. But either I'm going to install it for fun and just cause myself more problems down the road, or whatever, in regards to like not necessarily needing it because it's cool, or I'm just gonna, till I get it started and running, I'm just gonna run, you know, hose from the regulator to the carburetor and just call it a day, and do this some down the road or something like that. So, because I would have to cut right here so that I could just run the fuel line down and up. And the way it goes, it sits like that. And I don't necessarily need to run a fuel line all the way around, so simplify things. But this is so cool, so I don't know. But anyway. Take my little sip of coffee. Okay, so hooked up the oil pressure gauge. I kind of went a little fancy with it. Here, I'll let you guys see it. Hooked it up through here using the stock. Hooked it up through here using the, and I'm going to use this because this is for my actual gauge cluster. Ran this, coiled it up. Last time I installed one of these, I didn't know what to do with it. And there's too many fittings here, if you ask me, and this actually tucks right under here, but too many places for it to leak, if you ask me. But I'm just going to see if it works. Coiled it up here. This actually goes further in, but yeah, just sort of fancied it up a little bit. I guess the other thing I want to do is put my headers on. But yeah, and I might finish buttoning up my clutch cable, which goes right here. But anyway, so this is going to be interesting, but it should be fun. This is kind of the hitting the grindstone type of part of putting an engine in, I guess. So I guess we'll get started. I already got my clutch cable installed. Drilled the hole in previous video. Down here I have most of I'll put an arrow there of the clutch cable going to, you can see how it's not connected right there. But I know some of them come with like return springs, so I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do there. And then I've seen some that don't. So if you guys know, probably have it figured out by the time I post this video, but if you guys know, answer down below. Cool, so that's in the way, or that's done, so that's out of the way. I'm sure you guys already knew this, but when installing your headers, or I assume manifolds the same, it says top. See these hooks? You put, when you install the headers, you put the outside bolts on, and then it just slides right in. Ta-da! It's all lined up. I recommend buying the locker style bolt, at least that's what I call it, for your headers, because it comes with the hex head, yeah, and a tool, hex tool, so that it's a lot easier to get in there. These are aftermarket, like eBay headers, and they've worked great, but sometimes it's really tight in these little spots right here, so I usually like to start on the outsides and kind of work my way in. So it's a bit of a mess right here, but this is pretty cool. All of this wonderful stuff that you see here, regulator and alternator wiring harness, goes to the regulator for the alternator. Now, since I'm switching to a one wire, I don't need all this. I thought I was going to do a bunch of hacking and stuff, but it actually just unplugs right there. So look for that if you guys are removing all the wiring, but it actually quite simplifies everything. I don't have to go through and find out what wires do what and so on. So heck yeah, that works out pretty well. If you can't figure it out, it's a so it looks like maybe this is something that unplugged that you could buy if it ever went bad. Looks like it's been hacked up quite a few times by me and previous owners, so that's pretty cool. So I figured out basically one wire. You've got, I'll post a picture up, you've got the battery, you've got the ground, and I just need to figure out, there's a couple ports on the back, I think that's what they're for, but those are for, I'm hoping one of those is to tell the gauges what voltage I'm running and stuff. So, because before it was wired up, I believe, through the regulator, so, but yet off the alternator, so simplifies things, but then I have to figure out what I need to do to, you know, have my gauges get communication. So that's gonna be fun, but hey, right now I just wanna get this started, so. Alrighty, got the regulator mounted / wired up. Plug it in now, the horn relay. Telling myself, I mean, there's a couple random wires which I think had plugs on them, but when they hung over there for a while I was doing everything in the engine bay, I think I lost a few. A lot of this needs to be cleaned up, and I'm gonna do that, I guess, later, because I don't want to mess up too much, but I am hiding everything right behind my tray right here, and I have my starter hooked up. And now I guess I'll show you this real quick, guys. Here's that plug-in that goes to the regulator for all of the alternator and regulator wiring, hiding that away. And all of these go to basically my lights up front. So all of this is going to get tucked under here and hidden underneath the tray and over in this area right here. So yeah, and then this I'm going to tuck under here like you guys have seen before. It's actually supposed to run right here, but of course it's scratching everything. But I'm probably going to go ahead and just hide it under here, and I have some wire loom and so on. So because of my, you know, taking everything apart as I did, I hopefully am saving myself time on hopefully I'm saving myself time on wiring it later. But I'm going to come back and clean up the wiring later, I think, once I know that everything is running the way it should. Well, I'm gonna call it quits. I'm out of here. I think maybe next time I'll try to get it going. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Just a huge thanks, subscribe, whatever, all that jazz. If you're on Facebook, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, and yeah, comment down below. Tell me if I've done something wrong. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. See ya.